You must have seen this print before. It was done by a Japanese artist, and it's quite famous, but it's like a poster, like the flyers you see people pass around, or the ones people stick on their walls. And there are a lot more of these posters. The theme are usually waves like the one in this one, or mountains, or ghosts or gods the Japanese believes in. These are posters printed out that has tons of copies and everyone could get them. But some European artists thought that this shouldn't be a poster. This art is amazing. And one of them was Claude Monet, basically the founder of the Impressionisms. Monet moved to Giverny in quite a big house. He rented it first and then he bought it. And there was a traditional garden where he lived in Giverny. But he thought that the garden could be a everyday theme that he could paint. So he changed the traditional garden into one of those greenhouse-like gardens we would see. And part of it looked like this. Doesn't it look like flowers in a greenhouse? Well, he was a really serious gardener, but he liked to invite some of his fellow Impressionist artists over to his house, and they would admire his garden, and they would paint the theme together. He was inspired by the Japanese art because he had some of those prints inside his house, and he thought that the footbridge and some of the other Asian plants looked perfect for his new garden. So he planted them and he built a bridge. It basically looked like this. Well, it's kept well, and you could go there to visit and to see where Monet actually painted. Some of the willows might have grown a bit too long, but it basically looked like this. So he painted at least, well, there was a series of the footbridge paintings, and there were 12 of them. He must have painted more, but you only get to see 12 of them, and this is one of them. So you can see the background here. There's weeping willows, and in the middle ground there's the important bridge and some long grass and the water lilies. And in the foreground there's a lot of water lilies. And here is another version. You can see that the color is slightly different, and so is the background. So I recreated Monet's water lily garden, and this is what it came out as. So I drew the bridge and the water lilies and the willows. So you start with a blank piece of paper or blue, and you use crayons to draw the lilies and then the bridge and then the willows. So this is Monet's water lily Japanese footbridge garden, and this is also another one. This is basically how it looks like. Well, it's how it looks like now, so maybe the plants are a bit overgrown, but it basically looks like this. Monet built a beautiful garden, and he said that the greatest art he ever made was that garden in Giverny.